This is Tony Kaplan. I'm going to show you my generative art in processing. What it is a pointillism drawing made using the images from the webcam. So this sketch draws the image from the webcam that it's seeing, and in theory it's live updating. If I just hold up my hand, it'll detect it, and then if you go to the smaller dots, it'll kind of flesh it out and you'll be able to actually see it in more detail. So the background on this starts out white at the beginning, and then if you press, it'll restart, and it'll use whatever color is in the top left corner of the screen. It also has a few features, like if you hit Shift, it changes the colors. It tints the colors, which I think look really pretty, in my opinion. If you hit Shift another time, they'll cycle through the different colors. And if you get something that you kind of like and you want to save it, you just hit S and it will save it to the folder the sketch is in. I could have moved that around, but I wanted to keep it all together. So here it is in the folder. If you hit return, it'll put a stroke on all the shapes. And space will return it to your original tinting. And return will take the stroke off it. So that's my generative art, and I'm going to go back and show you a bit about how I made it. It was inspired by a processing example. So this processing example draws based on an image using different sized dots depending upon where your mouse cursor is. I don't know if you noticed in mine, but at the top we did the smallest dots and at the bottom we did the largest. This does it horizontally. I actually didn't realize that their sketch did this and wrote it myself, so that would have been helpful and probably saved some time, but it wasn't that hard to do. I guess the difficult part was figuring out how to get it to load from the webcam rather than an image. So the first thing I did is this processing sketch called video, and it's just pointillism and a video. And if that sounds too much like my my final product, you'll see here that it's just pointillism and a video. And it actually isn't even taking a video, it's taking different stills, which is what I needed for the processing sketch, because I needed to be able to read the image as an image and detect the pixels in a certain part of it. So the next thing I worked on figuring out was how to use the webcam instead of a static image. And so I had to figure out how to initialize the webcam in processing, and then read the current frame of the camera and use it to determine the color of the pixel. So this one only does ellipses, and I do have the size of the ellipses changing from bottom to top. I think I have the changes be more extreme in this one, and it also goes faster. Next thing I did is I moved on to this file, in which I learned how to do the opacity of different shapes and had them build up over a period of time. This one does the different shapes and changes them depending upon the position of your cursor. So that was the one that I turned in for my initial project, and then we had time to work on them. And someone mentioned that I should have different options like tinting, and so I had to figure out how to tint the camera first. So this is the final product, and it draws out in the diagonals like I mentioned, just because I like the appearance of it. And hitting Shift cycles through the colors. I decided to add the stroke feature just because I accidentally added it at one point, and I thought it looked really cool, so I decided to make that an option. And space goes back to the original tint. And we have the save feature, pressing the S.